47 seconds of logos, thinking that a cringer in the logo makes up for so little cringer in your movie. But also, I don't know how much I like this MGM logo implying that Cringer ate Leo the Lion. What did Leo ever do to Cringer? Did they even know each other? Is there a commissary for all the studio lions? And if so, is anyone invited? Asking for a friend named Jeremy.
Where do I start?
Screenplay begins the movie by asking where to begin, as if it briefly forgot it controls the chronology.
I guess what I really want to say is everything I am is because of where I come from.
Adam's He-Man's position leaves remarkably little room for Adam.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories on Eternia, that stuff is real.
Now look, Adam, if you're promising all the stuff from bedtime stories, then when I get to Eternia, there better be a little engine that could and a llama red pajama, or I'm going to be very angry.
Enchanted forests, burning deserts, islands in the sky.
Excitement?
I swear I'm not high.
Choosing to experience this movie as intended. Bold.
And then we've got Castle Grayskull.
The weirdest element of the Masters of the Universe is that the protagonist's castle looks even scarier and more menacing than the antagonist's home base, which is a goddamn Snake Mountain. Pretty sure this is going to be one of those situations where 40 years later we find out He-Man's family are actually the villains.
My father once told me that Eternia is the beating heart of the cosmos. And Grayskull is the heart of that heart.
This Russian nesting doll of cardiovascular systems doesn't sound medically sustainable. We're one metaphor away from a coronary event.
The power of Grayskull. The power was bound within a vessel, an ancient sword they called the Sword of Power.
It may be a critical part of the established IP, but I can't excuse an entire civilization looking at a sword containing godlike power and collectively deciding, F it, let's just call it what it does. Contrary to popular belief, we aren't just cinephiles over here at CinemaSins HQ. We're also certified gamers, and we've been playing something really great this summer. And let me tell you, it's an amazing game. I don't know if you're familiar with this game, dear viewer, but unlike your typical mobile game that comes out, gets stale, and you don't return to it, Raid is always pushing the limit. Between the endless hours of content and cross-platform gameplay, I'm always checking in to see what's new. For example, I'm obsessed with the brand new Echoes of Oz event happening right now. That's right, Dorothy, Toto, the Scarecrow, Tin Woodsman, and the Cowardly Lion are teaming up to battle Azula the Wicked in this limited time event. And the best part is you can now get your hands on Dorothy Gale. If you log in for 7 days during the Dorothy Gale chase, you can unlock her for free. And if you log on for an additional 7 days, you can earn extra gear for her. Her skills include removing enemy buffs, locking enemies down the CC effects, and she is further empowered when you have more friends from Oz on your team. Raid has been in heavy rotation for years, but this event crosses over some of my favorite characters and introduces some new ones. Speaking of new characters, you can battle Azula the Wicked as the major dungeon boss to unlock limited time chronophage gear. If you haven't already, click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get bonuses only available via my link. Right now, you'll unlock 3 free Legendary Champions and 1 Epic. You'll instantly unlock a huge starter pack with Legendary Champion Narma the Returned, and get another Legendary Champion for free using one of these codes. But make sure not to wait. These characters are only available for 48 hours after downloading from my link. And don't forget to log on for 7 days to unlock Legendary Dorothy Gale for free. And if you reach level 15, you can get Epic Chonoru too. So click the link in the description and get started today. That's 3 Legendary Champions, 1 Epic Champion, and much more, all by using my link or QR code. It's an amazing way to start your account, and using our link also helps support this channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This movie takes a brief detour to explain how the Tesseract from Interstellar got built.
Mom, I don't want to fight. Everyone's bigger than me and stronger, and I have poor hand-eye coordination.
Nonsense.
You have to fight.
It's true. He's the smallest and the weakest. It's a miracle he hasn't broken any bones.
Judgmental soon-to-be battle cats.
There are no statues of losers.
Maybe on Eternia, but Earth still has a handful of Robert E. Lees kicking around.
And there are no parades for doing your best.
Duncan is attempting to encourage his students to put forth maximum effort by saying there are no parades for doing your best, which, when you think about it, makes this not a lesson about effort, but a lesson about outcomes being more important than effort.
That's why we're all here. I saved your mom and dad's asses.
Movie thinks character importance is best established by characters announcing their importance. Also, Duncan throws in a quick "your parents were able to fucking have you because of me" aside in what's supposed to be an inspiring speech to rally the troops. Now they've probably all got parent sex visuals in their head that will be really hard to get past for the next hour of arms training.
That is a lot of asses.
Not showing us the supporting, data. Yes, I would like to review the data.
And this. Anybody know what it is?
This is my boomstick!
Tila.
Your arms.
That's my girl.
Nepotism. The movie's protagonist, who will be shown to be a strong savior in the future, has to start off as a tiny weakling that no one wants to partner up with in gym class or arms training. Cliché.
What kind of a friend are you?
The kind that's gonna beat you.
Tila would be excellent at friends you can beat up sins. Sudden scaling. Also, I really enjoy this Odin character when they let Anthony Hopkins do it.
Face me with this.
I feel like this movie could have doubled down on its Adam's father as a terrible father shtick without having him challenge his very young son to a sword fight with real goddamn swords. It's an odd way to try and make us feel any sympathy for Adam having the desire to save his father later in the movie. Also, the movie wants this fight to reinforce that Adam isn't ready, but he performs well enough that the disappointed father thinks his son is weak. Tension starts feeling weirdly unearned.
When he turns around, he's gonna see you. And you wanna show him you can take a hit.
Heimdall's mentorship style involves making highly specific emotional promises he has no ability to guarantee.
What are you doing here?
Following you.
Being a creepy stalker and then freely admitting you're being a creepy stalker.
We're under attack.
Appreciate Duncan clarifying that the exploding city means they're under attack. I was worried he was about to report a Pringle shortage. Also, the fact that this warning arrives after the city is already being bombed suggests Eternian's early warning system doesn't even include a guy in a watchtower with binoculars. Eternia exists in a world where aerial invasions and laser blasters are common, yet the Royal Guard remains heavily committed to axes, swords, and vibes. How do you get a guy who jumps high, a guy with a long neck, and a guy who fists all before you consider one or two ranged weapons?
As long as I'm here, you have nothing to fear.
Except alcoholism. That one's still on the table.
The big army only means one thing.
Big dicks. Small dicks.
More targets.
Makes sense. Though theoretically, this could still be about dicks. We can't play any of it, but just know that I have quickly fallen in love with this movie's synth-laden score. However, this might be the new Flash Gordon, in that all we ever talk about is the soundtrack and not the movie itself.
That's far enough.
Far enough? I can't figure out why Duncan let him get this far before unholstering his gun and firing at him.
And today...
What I don't understand is if your mechanical arm has a giant-ass gun setting, then why don't you start there?
The reign of Randor comes to an end this night.
I will admit Jared Leto is a lot better here than he has any right to be. But I also find it distracting that he's using basically the same exact voice he used for the Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion.
Were you looking for me?
Good news for Amazon MGM, though, is that only I and like 2 other people saw the Haunted Mansion.
You believed yourself so strong you stopped fearing what lurked in the shadows.
I don't think you should fear what anyone's doing in the shadows, but you should be aware of it.
The other day, I dragged the man's body down the hallway and noticed that there was no dust. Like I kind of swept the hallway.
I lurked.
I need to see the lurking tape before I can issue a ruling on this.
Go. Don't look back. Adam. Don't worry, my boy. I have you. Be strong, son.
Skeletor insists he's ruthless and unstoppable, only to politely stop and allow King Randor a heartfelt goodbye with his family.
What would you do to me, you fiend?
Wanting to let your true opinions shine about the man standing before you, but also realizing you're in a PG-13 movie universe. I'm just willing to bet all the powers in the universe that King Randor did not want to call Skeletor a fiend.
I'm only going to cut off your head.
This is, of course, Skeletor being a silly goose by cutting off the King Randor statue head, and not the actual King Randor's head. But what? He will kidnap him instead, for reasons, I guess. He doesn't even know they don't have the sword yet, and keeping Randor alive wouldn't assist with that endeavor regardless. So letting Randor live here makes 0 sense. From an evil villain's perspective, I mean.
Eternia shall witness my rise.
I'm not curious what that particular bone might look like, but the offer here feels a bit aggressive.
That's it. I finished.
Of course.
When I raise my fist like that, I'm done.
Yes.
That is the crescendo.
There's solid comedy in Skeletor being theatrical enough to explain the mechanics of his own villain speeches. Problem is, the movie doesn't trust the first joke to land, so it keeps turning up the volume and explaining its own punchline with more punchline.
They're coming.
Ew, who would have sex in this filthy old castle?
Bring the sword to me, child.
Movie keeps the reason the sorceress can't just walk a few steps toward the sword with Adam a mystery, as if the power of Grayskull latches on to the first person who gets within spitting distance.
Yes, now hurry.
We will then watch a bunch of standing in awe and very little hurrying, almost as if Adam wants to be killed by Skeletor's goons.
You must take the sword somewhere safe.
They entrust the extremely necessary protection of this sword to a kid who earlier could barely hold the equivalent of a wooden stick very well. And it works!
Adam, you be safe. And never forget where you came from.
Movie wants this emotional goodbye to matter, but never gives us a compelling reason Adam's mother can't go with it. I assume she subscribes to the classic parenting philosophy of abandonment plus impossible mission.
Do not lose the sword. It's your only way home.
Being my only way home has never stopped me from missing the school bus, though the school bus didn't contain godlike power, so I guess the sin, as always, is kids.
You carry the hope of Eternia.
And I'm not going to give you any more advice or tips, or even let you know where you're going, because as much as we want you to succeed, we've got almost 2 hours of runtime left, so we need you to fail some as well. Just makes for a better story. Hope you understand. Enjoy Earth. Out of all the places Adam could have landed on Earth and immediately died on impact, he was lucky enough to be let out of the portal above water. I have the convenience! But also, water is not the soft, fluffy pillow the movies always make it out to be. You will get hurt and sometimes killed from falling into water from a far enough distance, like, say, a separate universe.
Anyway, that's how I ended up in Oklahoma City.
The only way this reveal isn't underwhelming is if Adam immediately follows it with a felony. Spoiler, he does not. Also, Adam has spent the past 20 minutes telling this f***ing story to a date, a first date at that. And why is she still f***ing there? She's had 20 minutes to escape.
I'm sorry. Did you say Skeletor?
I'm sorry, Julie. Out of everything Adam just told you about, Skeletor shouldn't even be in the top 5 of things that would confuse you. I'd start with the talking green tiger and move on down the list from there.
I have to take this.
It didn't ring.
No, I have to take it and leave.
Based on extensive anthropological research into nerd behavior, I can confirm that this date ends exactly as expected, making Adam feel less like a person and more like an awkwardness delivery system built on the mistaken belief that cringe is charming.
So now your cup is holding the power of Grayskull.
Coca-Cola is not the power of Grayskull, but it is the ancient magic of product placement. You see, Hussein had to turn the TV off because he was watching The Notebook because he's a man. Do you get it?
Maybe your entire life's purpose is just to not be weird.
Not being weird is completely subjective, so I don't even think weirdness is Adam's real problem. The problem is that Adam seems to believe everyone around him should immediately understand and accommodate the context of his bizarre life. And the movie never meaningfully challenges him on it because the universe eventually vindicates him by proving his bullshit actually was the most important bullshit.
Like, why can't you just go to work, pay your rent, live for the weekend, and count the days till your next vacation?
Since this movie appears unaware of this, I'd just like to remind everyone that there are, in fact, several life paths between soul-crushing conformity and mystical destiny.
The assignment was draw your favorite historical figure.
Teacher publicly shames Adam for turning in what is, frankly, a pretty cool drawing. F*** you, corduroy jacket. Over this scene, there's a soft piano cover of Boys Don't Cry, trying very hard to provide stage directions for feelings the movie hasn't actually generated.
I feel you. Consensually.
I recognize the joke you're attempting here and resent how familiar it feels.
I have the power
To be the best version of myself.
Movie thought slipping "I have the power" into this corporate affirmation would be clever. Unfortunately, it stopped at cute. I understand this movie is slowly turning he-him into he-man, but failing to stop at he-him feels like a missed opportunity. But also, the amount of immediate anger this nameplate caused in the movie's first trailer will always be one of the funniest goddamn things I've witnessed, especially since the joke arguably got funnier once the exact people it was mocking got offended.
You're in my spot.
Congrats on the cameo, Bravo. Don't get me wrong, I always love seeing Dolph, but at least give him something better to do. Why wasn't he King Randor?
Good journey, kid.
Giving this callback line the same kind of prestige as an "I'll be back." Typing "Have you seen this sword?" into the internet and not getting a single dick pic in the replies.
I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't give you this little ream job here.
I'm not sensing enthusiastic consent.
This obsession with swords, it's not a good look for human resources.
I wouldn't think telling everyone who will listen about a magical world Adam grew up in is either. That actually seems even more reason for a talking to than the sword, but that's not even brought up.
If you walk out that door, you can kiss this place goodbye. Consensually.
Having the extremely talented Zashir Zamata in your cast and wasting her on a few measly scenes. Why wasn't she King Randor? I suspect Mattel may or may not have had some involvement in this production.
Have you got my sword?
Adam committed to this, asking strangers about a sword bit far longer than the joke could support. Now we're being asked to interpret whether he's still committed to finding the sword or just trying to show people his sword. Lucky for Adam, not only did the sword also wind up in Oklahoma City, but it has never left Oklahoma City.
Your problem, dude.
I was never here.
Looking like a discount Keith Flint and giving off a discount John Cena hand gesture. Maybe you should concentrate less on being unseen and more on becoming a twisted fire starter.
Oh! Sir, please get off of Torak.
So, before the Masters of the Universe toy line was released, Mattel artist Mark Taylor created a design for a barbarian named Torak, which ended up being a major inspiration for He-Man's design. So, to understand the craziness of this scene, one would have to imagine Oswald the Lucky Rabbit playing hide the sword with Mickey Mouse. This becoming less sword retrieval and more Kama Sutra was certainly a choice.
I'm not buying it.
Admitting you're stealing an item is still f***ing stealing. It's a sin. You're a sinner, Adam, and weirdly named after the first person mentioned in the Bible. I refuse to see that as a coincidence.
By the power of Grayskull, I have to go home!
Script wasn't ready for him or us to have the power, so Adam suddenly forgets the most important line in the franchise.
Please work. Do something.
This whole sitting on the edge of the bed begging your sword to perform thing, it's a little close to home.
Cool sword, Highlander.
Yeah, nice sword there, Rip Van. King Arthur. What even are you, Highlander?
Movie acts like being called Highlander or Rip Van King Arthur is an insult. So, presumably, Skeletor and his minions had some way to track the Sword of Power, hence Beastman's presence. But why would it have taken all these years for them to track it down? And I guess we could argue it's because Adam was possessing it, and by calling out to the power of Grayskull, they were somehow alerted. But then why would the sorceress say she was sending him somewhere no one could find him if it was that easy to find it? Or at least give him a heads up to be very chill with the sword once on Earth. Discount Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face. Also, the movie is using What's Up by 4 non-blondes in the scene as an obvious nod to the classic He-Man meme. But this recognition feels completely detached from what made that video funny. People loved it because it was bizarre, unexpected, and magnificently stupid in a very specific way. This, on the other hand, tells me the movie mostly just wants credit for knowing the reference. Movie shows remarkable restraint by not including a "my cabbages," but why? The Sword of Power is literally right there as we see Adam look over at it, and yet Beastman seemed more concerned with killing Adam than collecting the sword, which was his only goddamn job when he got to Earth. You had one job, Beastman!
And you f***ed it up.
Tila waited for the most dramatic moment possible to get a shot in on Beastman. This is great for releasing dramatic tension in a movie scene, but not so great for Adam having a better chance of not shitting his pants. I mean, just goddamn, would you look at that? Let's get in closer. Yep, just what I expected. Tila is clearly standing a little farther off to the side from the giant hole in the barrier she created after blasting Beastman than she was when we saw her facing the other way. Beastman appears to have many positive attributes in a combat setting. However, sneaking up on anyone like he's a f***ing master ninja would not appear to be one of them. And so Tila should have been more than aware, either by sound or smell, that Beastman was coming up beside her.
What does that thing want with me?
It's not you he's after. It's this.
And why is Adam even questioning this? He spent the last several years of his life drawing from memory and telling the stories of everything Eternia. And now that Tila and a monster show up trying to take the sword, he's confused about what's going on?
Jump!
What? No!
The fact that he doesn't suffer any meaningful physical consequences from this suggests Adam has been walking around Earth with Captain America-level physical advantages this entire time and just sat on them. What an asshole. Monster is about to attack one or more characters in a movie and is then hit by an Amazon truck because Jeff Bezos heard Beastman was a small business and acted accordingly cliche.
I told you guys it was real! Like you guys, specifically.
Adam, Tila, and the script all seem to completely forget they're fleeing for their lives.
Shit. Fold space.
Folding space and getting weird.
Somehow this ship just made me question whether folding space is morally neutral. Masters of the Universe has always been weird fantasy space opera. Problem is that modern audiences now read a lot of this aesthetic as something they've seen in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So now this movie feels strangely late to an aesthetic it arguably helped create. I may not be entirely fair, but it makes the lack of effort to establish a distinct identity much harder to ignore.
I would manage your expectations.
It's a bit late for the movie to start telling me to manage my expectations.
Why would he do this?
Because he's bad.
Tila would be excellent at movie villain sins.
There's gotta be more to it than that.
He has a skull for a face.
Judging a Skeletor by its cover is honestly probably fair, but Tila is still being super judgmental, and therefore my hands are tied. Discount Gamorrean Guard. When defending an over 2-hour runtime, Skeletor's morning routine was apparently deemed uncuttable.
Careful, if you drop it, I'll have you ground into sausage meat, just like your mother.
Skeletor doesn't your mom joke correctly. Too dark, sir. Too dark. Also, Skeletor's sausage insult falls apart under scrutiny because sausage is just a ground meat endpoint, not an exclusively pork-based one. At no point upon entering this ribcage-shaped room does Skeletor ever say, "Welcome to the Bone Zone."
On your knees.
Skeletor eventually forces Beastman's face down to the floor, which makes on your knees feel like a completely unnecessary intermediate instruction. Just start with on your face.
Tell me you have the sword.
Torturing your Beastman assassin before finding out whether or not he accomplished the job you sent him out to do.
The Royal Guard is here?
Are they in the Genesis Cave from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan?
Skeletor would never look for us here.
We're given no actual reason to believe Skeletor would exclude this location from his search. Interesting choice to base that level of optimism on absolutely nothing.
Is that what people wear on Earth?
Tila says this as if she wasn't just on Earth when she was rescuing Adam and surrounded by people wearing Earth clothes.
Actually, no. Not really.
Somehow the dialogue is treating Adam's outfit like it's some bizarre representation of Earth fashion when nothing he's wearing looks remotely strange.
I have eyes on the sword.
Nice Triclops, but your other two eyes are pointed away from the sword. But also the Royal Guard continues to be conveniently and impressively terrible at guarding. Adam hands Fisto an ID card to prove who he is, because I guess he believes that people on Eternia are aware of driver's licenses? I can't figure out if we're supposed to think Adam is stupid or a lot less funny than he thinks he is, and neither of those are great options.
Imposter. You don't know us.
This group will continue not believing Adam is who he says he is for longer than my patience can justify.
You're Fisto.
Hold on to your butts, because the movie is about to fist our ear holes with fistuendo until the joke is stretched beyond its limits. Also, this movie can't seem to figure out if it wants to be a serious and fun-loving tribute to the IP or a movie that is embarrassed by its origins. We find out that all the character names that fans grew up loving are just silly pseudonyms that a young Adam came up with because he never knew their real names. It's like, let's take He-Man seriously, but then include scenes reminiscent of the part of the first X-Men movie where Wolverine points out how stupid the uniforms look. Either direction could work, but I wish the movie had just picked one and stuck with it instead of becoming a movie with an identity crisis.
Is that a Class 4 battle bot?
What? No, it's nothing. Service bot.
That's not a service bot. That's definitely a battle bot. More importantly, why the hell did battle bots premiere on Comedy Central?
Smaller than I thought.
Well, it's just because my hand is so big.
Choosing to diversify your juvenile innuendo portfolio from fisting jokes to dick-sized jokes in a misguided attempt to achieve deeper market penetration.
We may have a situation out front.
At this point, getting surprise attacked appears to be this group's core competency. I love Tila's grit, but goddamn, she has to know there is no way she alone is busting through a door built like that. She's more likely to wind up with a dislocated shoulder or a concussion.
Adam, can you please stop making friends with the appliances?
We've known Roboto for all of 5 minutes, and they've already demonstrated enough personality, autonomy, and independent thought to avoid being grouped in with the blender. Apparently, that's still not enough for Tila, who's waiting to see whether they can file taxes.
I'll join you. On the condition that I don't make any food, I don't wash anything, and any fluids of any type that come out of you are yours to deal with.
Robato's understanding of humanity is alarmingly accurate. The movie presents this as a quirky robot joke, but it's actually a surprisingly compelling robot backstory about learning that the greatest threat facing artificial life isn't evil, it's roommates.
Why'd you call him Dad?
100 sins if it's a dad.
He's my dad.
Also, of course, the alcoholic on the ground is Duncan, because why would the king's personal man-at-arms be helpful in the fight against evil once the king and queen were taken? Let's just have him play the character who was once important and powerful, but then lost their way and became a mean yet sometimes witty alcoholic cliche.
Who's this guy? I know you.
Well, Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
When I was a kid, you used to train me. Sword fighting? Hand-to-hand combat?
Adam goes this route of reintroducing himself to Duncan instead of just telling Duncan what his fucking name is.
Oh, you berated me, kicked me while I was down, demoralized me.
No, I'm pretty sure that was your father.
Gotta get the sword as far away from him as possible.
Despite no meaningful shift in his trust of Adam, Ram Man suddenly decides he should be responsible for the Sword of Power. Also, if the goal is to get the sword as far away as possible, shouldn't the guy who can pretty much fly or super jump or whatever be the better choice to carry it?
Trapjaw.
Who?
Since we find out Adam made up a lot of these names, I'm really curious what a lot of the real names are now. Like, who is Trapjaw? Is his name Steve? Or Gary? I hope it's Gary.
Maybe I could talk to him. Start a dialogue. I do this for work all the time. I'm actually kind of good at it.
Adam's desire to negotiate should feel like a meaningful character trait, but the movie never commits to the ideas of diplomacy and nonviolence. Just keeps bouncing back and forth between suggesting empathy and de-escalation are valuable tools and treating them like a punchline.
Mr. Trapjaw!
This works for far longer than it had any right to. Also, why did they let Adam walk out there with the Sword of Power when that's exactly what these assholes are here to get? Just because he ends up needing it doesn't mean it wasn't a stupid idea to let him walk out there with it in the first place. Trapjaw voluntarily switches from a functioning arm cannon to a hook instead of simply continuing to win with the arm cannon.
And conflict resolution relies on effective communication.
I wish Adam in this movie would stop whatever TED Talk parody they think they're delivering right now. Feels deeply insulting to all the fisting jokes. Building a bridge this high up with 0 railings.
By the power.
Trapjaw pauses his attack to see where this is going, instead of shooting at him in the mouth. What is even the point of having the power to explode all over these dudes if they can just get up and brush it off as if it didn't even matter?
We're screwed.
As Adam should be. He might have gotten stronger, but he still doesn't know how to fight. And yet, Trapjaw, who was able to take down the fucking man-at-arms, will lose to Adam because the movie needs him to. Once again, why is he not starting off these fights brandishing the goddamn gun arm, aiming at He-Man's wrists instead of everywhere else? Trapjaw Transformer arm has a trigger that Adam can use, for reasons.
You fools, you dolesome blockheads!
That is too much Charlie Brown in My Masters of the Universe.
You blockhead.
The Eternos Chainsaw Massacre.
Not you.
What?
Definitely not you.
I get it. Ha ha ha. Duncan is a drunk now, but no matter what state he's in, he would be a better option for flying something he's been on hundreds, if not thousands of times, versus Adam, who's probably never flown a goddamn thing in his life. Inexperienced driver looks confident shifting into gear and then goes in reverse instead of forward, and no one in the audience laughs cliche. Just want to point out that Adam's never flown one of these contraptions before, and yet is evading multiple ships with, I'm assuming, very experienced pilots flying them, firing at him all at once. I'm actually comfortable with the mythical god man versus windshield that I have at home. Also, once we see the outside of the ship and that there is nothing for Adam to hold on to, we quickly realize that Adam's ability to land on this vehicle and remain there is all the bullshit. Again, I'm actually comfortable with the mythical god man versus windshield that I have at home. Also, Adam is straight up murdering people left and right, and it doesn't seem to faze him at f***ing all. I guess a power of He-Man's we don't discuss enough is his lack of a conscience. Probably needed some end of the episode PSAs tackling that subject. This is a far enough fall that I feel safe throwing a He-Man survives this at you, and I'm sure I will get 0 YouTube comments about how I'm a f***ing idiot and don't understand the aerodynamics and pain threshold of He-Man. I'm supposed to care about this crash, but they are going to walk away from it, and it won't matter to anyone but the broken ship.
Look, darling, I made mulch.
Calling the sorceress you employ darling. This somehow doesn't result in Skeletor having to sit down with HR. This story moment appropriate footlocker just appears.
Where am I?
CGI Vancouver?
Who am I?
Jackie Chan?
Come on. It's getting dark.
It is not.
Man-at-Arms is in here somewhere.
I hope you find him.
Idris Elba and Camila Mendes are great together and genuinely feel like father and daughter. Still sinning them because you are infecting my He-Man movie with too many emotions.
What do we got here?
The flask of inter-character tension.
Ripping some dude's arm off doesn't really seem like the kind of thing that we should be celebrating.
The first time you do it, you can at least be impressed with yourself. Also, ripping some dude's arm off is the least of your psychological worries, Adam. You killed so many fucking people today.
Whatever happened to understanding and listening?
What, was Eternia ever known for those things?
What are you gonna do when a guy charges towards your family with a sword?
Use them as human shields? That's the correct answer, right? Right?
When war breaks out, it's not the poets that step up.
War has made a poet of many a man, far more than peacetime ever made warriors.
It is quite heavy, so if you could just...
Oh my god, yeah.
Then use both arms, asshole.
You're a loincloth.
This loincloth.
You've always been my friend, and you'll always be my friend, and nothing will change that. Not ever.
Trope subversion, skip. Skeletor has the power to make himself a discount Disney nighttime light show. Neat.
And you are but worms beneath my feet. Butt worms? You just called us butt worms.
The butt of this joke is embarrassed by you pointing at it.
This is Skeletor we're talking about. You can't just charge into this.
I have the power of a god in my hands!
But you are not a god!
Weird that Teela has this attitude now, but she didn't when she was cheering Adam on earlier when he first transformed into He-Man. And to be fair, at this point, he's been handling himself pretty damn well.
Keep the sword.
These people are really terrible at stealing the that they've been asked to steal. I'm honestly not sure how Skeletor was able to keep his reign over Eternia with all these assholes working for him.
Killer view, isn't it?
Skeletor somehow knew exactly how Adam would walk in the room, because if he had come in from just about any other angle, he would have seen his father, whom Skeletor was hiding for this undramatic, dramatic reveal.
Shall I give you to a moment?
And he does give them a moment. We will find out that the magic of He-Man is in him, and the sword is just a conduit, so he doesn't even need the sword once he's turned, which means he could have come here with a fake sword or even no sword and still had the strength and whatnot. So why bring the sword and give any of these villains a chance to take it? Someone really should have clued him in on this already. This is framed like Adam has finally become the man his father always wanted him to be, despite most of that transformation occurring over what appears to be a very eventful week. Adam never once tries poetry here. There was a good 90 seconds where someone could have come and grabbed this sword. Starting to think Skeletor and his cronies really don't want the sword. They just like to pad the movie's runtime.
It's my turn to put on a show.
Villains that love the theater more than they love winning. These rocks somehow killed his father. Why is his father weaker than all the other people in this movie?
I'm not that weak little boy anymore.
Yeah, but it's not like Adam got to this body type naturally. It's magic. It's great he's saving his home world and all, but let's not pretend the power of Grayskull doesn't include some fantasy roids.
The world just seems so big for you. So I tried to make you strong.
No, I'm just gonna go with King Rando was a terrible father. How the did he get his clothes back?
I brought someone here to see you.
And I waited until now to reunite you with your childhood pet and probably best friend because I'm Tila and I do silly Tila things.
Yeah, I thought Adam was dead.
These people have communication issues that refuse to be resolved or pointed out.
Heroic human periscope.
This was also the name of my...
How much do you bench?
What is bench?
Adam looks really put out here, but why would he think bench would be in their vernacular? Has he even seen a weight room on Eternia? That was the sound that got the guards' attention? How did they miss all the loud, rapid gunfire that preceded the cell doors coming down? Adam and his new friends will walk out to the tune of Queen's Princess of the Universe, which seems to have been picked by an AI tasked with finding any old song with universe in the title.
I can't breathe.
Not letting He-Man be cool for 5 seconds was a choice.
Next time, I'm definitely wearing armor.
Being this optimistic about sequel chances.
Give him head, Ram-Man! I'm sorry.
He is not. Also, head in this context is just as much a colloquialism as bench, which they had never heard of.
Now let me show you what a real man does with power.
I don't know exactly what Skeletor is supposed to be, but he's definitely not a real man. And here I was thinking that getting the sword back would unfold in an interesting and triumphant way.
Defend yourself, witch.
Oh, that's fun. The woman can fight the other woman, the main antagonist can fight the main protagonist, the battle cat can fight the beast man, and the male side hero can fight the male side villain. Nice how that dynamic always works out in action movies.
Let's crash their party!
I got my invitation right here.
No, if you have an invitation, you're not...
Roboto would be Domo Arigato at CinemaSins.
Yes!
Are they gonna No, seriously, are they? Roboto's head survives this. Oh, the butt plug of power.
Does it matter? Existence is a series of absurdities leading to an infinite nothingness.
Was Roboto this existential the entire movie? I seem to be forgetting when that was a thing. Adam is going to have to find out that he's not the god of swords now, isn't he? Age of Ultron made me realize I don't enjoy seeing Vision in a turtleneck, and now Masters of the Universe has made me see that Skeletor in a hoodie isn't much better of a visual.
That big long sword dangling between your glorious thighs.
Skeletor confuses the sword of power for the power of Boner's sword.
Kind of convenient to die right before the rent is due.
Hussein would be excellent at cohabitation sins.
It is understanding. It is empathy. It is humanity.
The movie spent most of its runtime portraying Adam as a bumbling idiot, rather than demonstrating the empathy, compassion, and leadership it now wants credit for. Hell, we didn't even get one scene of him rescuing a cat from a tree.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power!
Having a mantra that any English teacher worth his or her degree would dock you points on for using the word power twice. Yeah! How do they even know that light is a good thing? That could be Skeletor getting the power, for all they know. Even though it's not premature celebration, it very well could have been. And these assholes would have been
You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it.
He's literally killed so many of Skeletor's men already. The only thing Adam's probably scared of is the psychological toll that will take on him once the adrenaline wears off.
I was pulling my punches.
Other than cool one-liners, why were you doing that instead of just winning?
What do you think?
I think Roboto is about to bore us with tales of the Gear Wars.
This is a little revealing.
Okay, the shout out to the insane laughing that ended every goddamn He-Man episode has tickled my nostalgia bone just enough to remove a sin.
You know what they say about men with big swords?